All right, everybody. Welcome to another back testing supply and demand session. And I'm going to actually go over a trade that I did on gold this morning. And then we'll do probably maybe one or two examples of how we can actually trade supply and demand zones and, increase our win rate. So let me get started. I already activated my back testing tool. Give me a second. All right, so we're going to go and start at the 15-minute time frame all the way to the 4-hour time frame. We're going to go through the whole full scope. So let me get started. So when we look at price here, we can see that price really started to drop heavily down to this demand zone here because there was a huge supply up in this area. So there was definitely a huge, and this was a maximum demand zone down here. That's why price respected this area more than once. And then this was really, I would say this is probably a micro supply zone, even though this was major supply up here. That's why price dropped so high and eventually hit this demand zone down here. And then when you really look at price closely, you can see that there was multiple demand zone here. That's why price respected that area. And there was quite a few supply here. This made price go down there as well. So that's pretty much good. So now I'm going to pretty much draw zones in this area. And then what we're going to do is we're going to move on to the 30-minute time frame and do the same exact thing. All right. So then move on to the 30-minute time frame. I'm going to rinse and repeat. So let's go all the way back. So now, give me 1 second, guys. Okay, so now when we analyze price, there was a huge amount of supply up in this area. So once price broke this zone, it actually hit a huge supply and it pushed price back down to this area and it respected it. And then there was a demand zone that held here, and that's what pushed price back up to this point. It even broke this zone and ultimately went back up. And then you see a major supply area up in this area and up in this area. Okay. So we're going to draw our zones in these areas here. Now we're going to move to the 1 hour. So we just marked all that up. And then we see that price respected this zone and there was another supply here. This was really a base supply zone here. And then ultimately went down and hit this demand zone down here. And then demand zone here. and down here. To the 4-hour, and so we see that there was a huge demand zone here. Price eventually broke that and went all the way down, and there was a base, well, there was another supply zone here. Then there was a base supply zone here, and then a demand zone here, and then we go all the way to the left here. And this is where we see where current price is at. And so we can see that price basically filled all this imbalance here from this move, because when they finally shifted and went to a downtrend, price broke this structure here, and then it created swing low here. So this was the swing low. So that's when I knew that price was going to go up. So I knew that there was a demand zone down here. So let me go ahead and draw my zones. Right. So now we're going to go back to the 15-minute time frame. So when I went back to the 15-minute time frame, I could clearly see that price really did create a swing low here. And really, in reality, price really already went into an uptrend. You can actually see that even right here. There was another base demand zone here, well, single candle demand zone. Price respected it and went up, hit another supply zone, and then went down, and then ultimately went up and respected this supply zone, and then came down to here. So automatically, I saw that price came back and tested this demand zone. So this looked like a solid demand zone here. It tested it, went up, and tested it again. So I said to myself, I said, it's probably going to do one more swing and then go back up. So something told me that price was going to go up and wipe out, definitely wipe out this structure here, because this was the last bullish structure. And let's see, I'm trying to find the other structure. Yeah, they've already, well, they've already wiped out this structure and created a swing low here. So I figured it's going to come back down and test this and then go back up. That's what I was really looking at. But of course, price ended up going higher than that. But I looked at the candle structure here, and I saw that, yeah, price is going to go up. I said it was going to come back and go up even further, because I just knew the candle structure of the demand zone. So then what I did was I went on ahead and put in my risk to reward tool for the buy, because I was actually thinking that price was going to break this and create a swing low, come down a little bit more, and then go up. So then my goal was to actually catch it here, get, 250 points worth of gold, which is right here, and then ultimately gather liquidity up here. And so that's what I was aiming for. Now, the funny thing is what I did was actually, I was aiming for the liquidity up here, but change that real quick. But I drew another small zone here because I saw that there was a demand zone here. So I said either price is going to bust through this demand zone, close up and go up, or respect this, it's to respect this zone and then go down to here. But I stuck to the buy. So what I'm going to do is I want to show you guys what price ended up doing. I'm going to turn on the DeLorean EMA. So again, this is the 915 candle, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this is the 915 candle. So it looked like it was going to sell, but I said, let me wait for the next candle because I don't want to get caught into a bear trap, right? And price automatically started pushing up. And so I think I got it right here and took it all the way up to here. Maybe, I think I maybe jumped out of here. It was at least over 250 points. So right here, and then jumped out. So that's what I did, got all that. But then even when I jumped out, price pulled back. So then I said, okay, so maybe price was going to probably maybe push down and maybe pull up and swing up or maybe go down to the zone again. But then price said, nope, you were correct. We are buying up. Pull back and then it respected this zone that I drew. So then I saw there, yeah, we're going bullish. And then not only that, our DeLorean EMA gave us extra confirmation with the yellow EMA sticking out this way. So then price went up some more and then went up, at least tested this zone. Well, no, not even that, busted through that zone. And so then that's when we actually had our supply area, and that's when it held. And that's when price started to push down. So when we go back here, from the time that price started, from here, that was a total of, let me see, yes, this was the 930 candle, okay. Price went up over 1,100 points off of this bullish move. So it lets us know that our analysis was correct, that we had a strong demand zone that held here. And that's how we won the trade. I want to show you the results, and then I'm going to move on to another example. Do that now. As you can see, this is my prop trading account with Funded Traded Plus. Here's my results. $224 on the first partial trade and then $24 on the second one. So made $248, almost $249. So we did good on that. So our analysis was correct for the day. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do one more example, maybe two, and then we'll wrap this up. Okay, so for our last example, we're going to do GJ. So let's start on the 4-hour time frame. So when we really look at price here, we can see that there was a huge supply up in this area. That's what ultimately kept on pushing price down. And then we see that there is a maximum demand down here. And then when we see another I would say this is another maximum supply zone here. That's what really pushed price all the way down to here. And then you see that there is another supply here. And then I see that there's supply here. That's why you got this big giant wick. And then you also have a demand in this area. So then at this point, we go back to the 15-minute time frame. So now we want to analyze what price did at this point. So now we see that obviously there was a huge supply area here. That's why price hit this area multiple times and pushed price all the way down to here. So then if I was to look at this, I probably would say that price is probably overall bearish at this point. And then I would be looking for price to maybe come up and test this area and then go down. Probably go down and test this demand zone again. So then price come back up in this area. I'll be looking to get at least 15 pips here. And then ultimately target this liquidity down here that resulted from this demand zone because of this big wick. Now, if price happens to drop from this candle, then I'll get 15 pips. I'll just focus on getting 20 pips down to this liquidity area. Now, let's see if I was correct. Now, if we turn on the DeLorean, yellow might be curving, so we might be correct. Let's turn it off and see. Okay, so from there, we jumped into here. That would have been 12 pips. Talking about 15. So, yep. So we would have got that from there all the way down to this wick. That would have been 16 pips. We would have won that. If our lot size was at 2.40, so that's 24 pips, $24 per pip. But let's see if it goes even down further. So it might be targeting well, we would have won that trade, but overall we were actually bullish. But eventually, yeah, we were overall bullish. So technically we were wrong on this one, but we still would have probably got something out of that. But it just goes to show that price held that demand zone. But we wouldn't have took that trade. We probably just would have got in here if we wanted to get this sell, but price went overall bullish. But it's okay because we could have just sold that, got out, and then bought it up to here. So let's do one more example. So let's do AU. So we see that there was a major demand here, major supply up here, and we got micro supplies all the way up in this area. Ultimately went down. Micro demand, price respected it and then went down. Looks like that this might be a demand here. So we'll go back to the 15-minute. This is a perfect, looks like it's a perfect demand zone here. Price is respected and hitting it. So then I would be looking for price to actually come down and swing down to here and then go up. So if it swings from here, 15 pips. Now, if it swings from this candle, 15 pips will go to here. And then ultimately, I would be targeting the liquidity to here. Yeah, looks like it's curving. Look like the yellow is above the red, so it might be going up. So let's see. Yep. So it looks like we are bullish. Yep. Let's see if we are correct. Yep, hit it. So we had got it in even here. 21 pips. Bam. And then even went above it, came up, tested this area, and all the way up to here, came back down and tested it, and that was another, it's like 30, almost 40 pips. Let's do one more example. So for our last example, we're going to do EU. So let's go to the 4-hour time frame. So we can clearly see that this was a maximum supply zone up here, maximum supply. Micro demand. And we probably have demand zone down here. And possibly one up here as well. So then when we go back to the 15-minute, see, this looks like, see right here, it looks like that this is a single candle demand zone here. And it broke this previous structure here by filling all that imbalance from this up move from here all the way down to here. So then I would be looking for another low to pop here. So price would probably sell and hit this and then go up. That's what I'm thinking. So I would be looking to put in a buy here. And I would be looking to get 15 pips right there. And then ultimately target the liquidity, I'd say maybe up here. Now, if price decides to shoot from this last candle all the way up to here, and I'm talking about getting 15 pips here, and ultimately targeting liquidity up here. So let's see what price ends up doing, and we'll see if we're correct. See? So we end up respecting this area, and it looks like it's pushing up. So if we got in here, this would have been our entry, and this would have been our one trade. This is 20 pips right here. I mean, won that already. We're talking about 20, see, 24. If your lot size is 2.40, so that's $24 per pip. So $24 per pip, and you times that by 20, that would have been almost a $500 profit. So let's say over $400 would have been made. All right. Let's see what price ends up doing. So it comes back. So it looks like it's really respecting this demand zone here. It's like it came back and wanted to do that swing, okay? Like I thought. Okay, it actually went down a little bit lower, but that's okay. Could have actually bought again here if we wanted to. It's another 20 pips. But let's see if it eventually goes all the way up. But even though it didn't really hit all the way up to here, but like I mentioned before, if we had got in on this second entry here, that would have been 35 pips, which is phenomenal. Got in on this here, 28 pips. So it gave us two solid bullish entries. So it just created a swing here, which I figured would happen. That's why I put my entry down here. That way, if it went a little bit lower, then I could have just made my adjustment. And then price went up again. And there we go. We hit our liquidity target up here. So then if we had got in here, went all the way up to here, 36 pips. So yeah, I mean, price eventually went bullish. So there you go. All right, guys, that wraps it up for our supply and demand backtest training. See you guys next time.